Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. It's Sunshine Lorena and I'm going to be taking you through my 24 in 24. So guys, I'm gonna put these down because books are heavy, guys. Books are heavy. I really need to hit the gym. Where shall I put you? Okay, so yes, 24 and 24. These are gonna be 24 books that I would like to read in 2024, of which, if you've seen my goal video, I said I want to read at least 70% of these books, guys. Okay, so last year was the first year that I did one of these lists. It was 23 and 23, obviously, because it was 23. I did terrible. We're not going to speak about it. We're just going to put that to the side. But based on my learning from that last year, I have, and you might have noticed from the stack in my hands, that obviously wasn't 24. I have been better, actually thought about it this time, and not pretty much did the entire list on physical books. I think I had a few ebooks last time. This time, because it's 24, I've been able to evenly split between physical books, ebooks, and audiobooks, giving me the chance to succeed. Whether or not that happens, we need to wait till the end of the year to find out. But, you know, I'm trying. I am trying to do well on this. So I'm going to take you through all of the books that I want to read, obviously. And I'm not going to go into like big synopsis, just maybe like a sentence, the genre type, because 24 books is a lot to get through. Okay, I'm going to have to pop on the glasses, guys, because I need to keep looking at my computer screen. But I'm going to do it physical first, then ebooks, and then audiobooks. Easier to do it by category of type of book. Okay, I think that's all you need to know. So let's just get into it. The first one is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Was this on last year's list? Maybe. Was it on a classics list the year before that? Quite possibly, guys. But 2024 is the year for me to tackle this Russian classic. Also, in case you haven't seen on my channel, I have decided to do a Read Around the World challenge. It's going to take a few years because like there's a lot of countries in the world, so I'm going to read a book from every single country. So this will help me from Russia, and yeah, it's one I've been wanting to get to for ages, and I really want to actually see the film as well, but I'm like, need to read that book first. Next one is The Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson. So back in 2022 I read The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which everyone knows this trilogy, the Millennium Trilogy, the original one. There has been since other books written by someone else in his style. I don't know if I'll get into those other ones, but I want to finish the original trilogy. In order to do that, I need to read the second one. This will count for Sweden, guys, in my Read Around the World challenge. Yes, I really enjoyed the first one. I love those kind of Scandi thrillers. They're dark, amazing. So yeah, it's another one, it's another case. They are like smaller writing, they are chunkier ones than my normal thrillers, but I do enjoy it. And yeah, looking forward to this one. Okay, the next one, another Scandi thriller, guys, and that is The Boy in the Headlights by Samuel Bjork. This may have been on last year's list. It's on my January TBR, guys, so I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try. I haven't picked it up yet. But there's still plenty of time in January because January seems to be the never-ending month. I'm supposed to be reading this as part of Winterween. I don't know if I'm definitely not gonna finish it. I might start it. We'll see. But yes, this is book 3 in the series of the Holger and Munch detective series. Really enjoy them. They are, again, dark, cold, like they tend to be quite dark cases. So that is a warning if you're not really into dark thrillers, but they tend to be dark cases. I really enjoyed the first two. The second one, I definitely gave 5 stars, like amazing. So we'll see what happens with this one, but I am really looking forward to it. A prequel was released in November, so I will have that to pick up once I've read this one, but love the snowy vibes. Then I have The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Torres Saffron. It might have been on last year's list. I did start this, guys, and it was in my Cozy Autumn read with me. I really enjoyed making that video. I really enjoyed this instant 5-star feels. But then, you know, it was October and I was like, I need to read all the spooky books. I didn't read that much. In November, I didn't really read anything. So I decided to rain check it, not DNF, guys, rain check, because I definitely wanted to come back to it. You can see how far I got, but I'm going to restart it and actually appreciate and enjoy reading it. It's just I was reading too slow and I was like, this book needs me to dedicate the right amount of time to it to really appreciate it. So that's what we're going to do. He's from Spain, so it's going to tick off the Spanish prompt. But essentially, this is a fantasy novel, and our main character, when he's a boy, his father takes him to this labyrinth, the Labyrinth Library of Forgotten Books, and he ends up pulling out The Shadow of the Wind by Julian Carax, and there's this whole mystery behind this author, no one who he is, and it's kind of throughout his life, you know, as he's grown up, he's trying to find out information. And yes, it just instant 5-star feels, guys. So, you know, this book deserves me to dedicate the right amount of time. Then I have I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. This is the first in 7 of her autobiographies, I think. Yes, 7. So this is like the first part of her childhood in the 1930s. I'm really looking forward to this one. I did briefly start it like quite a few years ago. It wasn't the time for me to pick it up, but I definitely want to get to this and read it. I want to read a lot more non-fiction in 2024, so this will help a little bit. I want to get 15% out of the books that I read this year non-fiction, so hopefully that'll help. And this is the memoir that I normally see people speaking about of her, and I've not really seen much about the remaining ones, but I would be interested in reading her entire memoir series. I like the fact that she split it up into different aspects of her life, and I think it's gonna be super interesting. Then I have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Again, this is on my January TBR, so I should hopefully be reading it this month. And this might have been, was this on last year's list? I can't remember. I think it might have been. Anyway, we don't speak about 2023 and 23. Colleen Hoover is one of her most famous books. Last year they were filming the film. The film is going to be coming out. I don't know if it's this year that it'll be ready or if it'll be the following year, but either way, I want to read this before the film comes out to go and watch it, see what all the hype is about. I am scared because Layla I gave a 1 star in November, and in Verity when I read it a few years ago I gave 3 stars, so I'm clearly not on the Colleen Hoover hype train, so I'm a bit scared about this one, but we shall see. I feel like I'm gonna cry because I feel like this is a book that makes people cry. Also, I'm really interested to see, because people were like commenting about like the clothing choices, the wardrobe choices on the film set of the stills they've seen, and people are like, nah, that's not how they see her. So I'm gonna be really interested to see what Lily's actually like in the book. But also I saw people saying that Blake Lively, like they're like a Verity, which I feel like she would be amazing for Verity. I have no idea about Lily obviously, but if they make Verity into a TV series, film, whatever, they need to get Blake Lively. They need her. They need her. Anyway, the next book I have here is The Zahir by Paulo Coelho. He is a Brazilian author. In case you don't know, The Alchemist is my favourite book, and I have it in several different languages. I don't even know how many countries I have there, but anyway, I've never read another one of his books. I have had this on my shelves for 3.5 years at this point. I need to get to one of his. I'm interested just to see if I will love his writing in other books, or if it was just a fluke with The Alchemist. But I definitely need to read another book of his, because like I can't keep saying The Alchemist is my favourite book and never have read any of his other books. You know, we need to sort it in 2024. Then the last physical book I have, don't worry guys, it's not this whole thing, and this is just the Jane Austen collection, all of her books, but it is Emma, guys. Also, this is my favourite. It's so pretty. Yes, so I did Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park. I was reading it as part of like the Austen alum, which was a couple of years ago, and it was hosted by Kiara Foster. And when it came to Emma, I started it just wasn't at the right time, and then I was kind of fell off the Austen alum. So Emma's on this list because it is the next one that I need to read, and I'm really intrigued to read it. I hear good things about it. I love the fact that she's essentially a matchmaker, and then I can watch the film. I really want to watch the film, find out if I really like Emma as much as I did some of her other books, and then hopefully continue on with her collection. Okay guys, that means we are now onto the ebooks. Okay, so the first one I have is The Darkness by Ragnar Johansson. I am currently reading this one, guys. This is a thriller. He is an Icelandic author, so it's set in Iceland. I'm really enjoying it. Again, it's classed as Nordic noir, Scandi thriller, you know, all of those vibes, and like I said, I love them. I'm really enjoying this. It's not too long, it's under 300 pages. It's first in the series, so we get introduced to our detective inspector, Hulda, as she is basically being forced to retire like months and months early than she should do, but she was told you can choose a cold case just to keep you busy the last few weeks if you really want to, or like, you know, basically slack off, and she decides to pick a case about this refugee, a Russian woman who was found dead, and the case was closed as like suicide, but she's like, I don't think that's the case. I think the police detective did some dodgy work, like didn't do his job properly, so now she's investigating. I'm really enjoying it so far, loving the character development, definitely gonna be checking out other books by him, even though I've not finished this one yet. I know, love his work already. Next is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogwa, and this is like a thriller-esque, but I feel like it's also kind of Black Mirror vibes, because things have been removed from the world and then it's been wiped from people's memories, but if you remember it, I think the police come and get you. I can't remember the full synopsis. I remember seeing a little bit about this a few years ago, but it's something that people don't really speak about, and I'm super intrigued. Again, helping me on the Read Around the World challenge. I am trying to, you know, expand my reading knowledge, also bring books to you guys that maybe you've not heard of, and spread the word, you know, spread the word. But yes, super intrigued by this one, how it's going to turn out. I've read a few Japanese novels before, but not a thriller, so I'm intrigued to see what this one is like. Then I have The Girl with the Lavender Voice by Abby Dare, and she is a Nigerian author. This is literary fiction, I believe. I have not read literary fiction in a little while. I kind of want to bring that back because I am like heavy thriller focused, in case you haven't realised with this list. So I am definitely looking forward to picking up a literary fiction. Plus the cover is stunning. Again, this is something I saw a few people speaking about a couple of years ago, and then I've not seen anything since. And side note, like, I feel like this is the problem now in publishing, is that first of all, you're going to get hugely popular books that are like book talk favourites, and then across the book community there's other ones that people are like, yeah, this book da 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 da, and a few months later nothing, and people forget about it. And I feel like books aren't being appreciated, guys, as much as they used to be, and I feel like we're getting a bit kind of fast fashion with books, in the sense that people are just churning them out and the quality is going down on some of them, and those are the ones that seem to be popular. So again, I want to highlight books that maybe you've not heard of and that deserve a little bit more acknowledgement and people reading them and appreciation. So sorry, slight tangent there. Then I have The One by John Mars. This again is a thriller. It is a Black Mirror-esque thriller. I have read his other two in this kind of category, which are The Passengers and The Minders. Enjoyed both of those Black Mirror-esque thrillers. This one, it's got to do with DNA. Like, they find a way to pinpoint there's a certain something in your DNA, and they can match and find out who the one is for you, who your soulmate is. But obviously people have to sign up to it, so you could be waiting for years because your soulmate hasn't actually matched. You could be someone in the UK, you could be like 20 years old, and then you're matched to somebody who is like 60, which you wouldn't have naturally maybe went there, and they could be the other side of the world. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I like the concept. I'm intrigued to see how this one is. Then I have The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dahlia Harris. She's from the US. By the time I get to this one, like, I would have already ticked off the US probably on the Read Around the World. However, I want to read this book. It's set in a workplace, I believe. There is a Disney Plus series, which I want to read. I want to watch, guys. Sorry, mind is focused on the books. I want to watch, so I need to read this first. And this looks really interesting. It looks really interesting. I've had it on my Kindle for a while. I mean, most of these that I've been speaking about, I've had them on my Kindle a while, and I kind of just want to start clearing them out because I don't want to know the number on my Kindle TBR, but I know it's not good, and we need to at least make a bit of a dent. Then I have Magnolia Parks by Jessica Hastings. This is book talk popular book. This is a romance. It is on Kindle Unlimited. I am currently reading it. I got to 60% before Winterween. I was like, okay, we're putting it aside so we can read the Winterween books, but I am picking it up straight away. It's described as Gossip Girl meets Made in Chelsea. It's set in London. We're speaking about the rich people. They're not teenagers though. They are in their 20s. They're rich, you know, high class society people, and it does give those little bit of like kind of Gossip Girl kind of vibes. You know, it's just about their lives. It's not gonna, obviously this book would never win any awards, but I am enjoying the vibes, and I feel like I'm gonna continue on this series because, like, sometimes you just need fun. You just need some fun in your books, and reading should be about enjoyment. Then I have Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is a fantasy. I believe she's from Canada. And yes, this is the first in the trilogy. I feel like it's one I'm gonna like. I feel like I tend to like these popular fantasy books when I pick them up, like the Poppy War series, Babel. I can only think of Arcon fantasy books right now, guys. I feel like I tend to like these kind of popular fantasy series books when I pick them up. I do like fantasy books. I have found that I do enjoy a standalone, but at least a duology or a series I quite like getting into in fantasies. So I want to start a new fantasy series in 2024, and obviously the first book, let's see how much I like it if I want to continue on, but I feel like I need to try, and lots of people like this one. Then I have 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. This is a thriller. It is a pandemic thriller. It's like set in the pandemic. About this couple. I think they get stuck together obviously during the pandemic. I'm not too sure everything that happens, but I think it takes across these 56 days. Intrigued to read it, find out what it's like. Had it in my Kindle for absolutely ages, guys, and we just need to clear it. But yes, continuing on with lots of thrillers on this list. And that was the last ebook, so we're gonna get onto the audiobooks, guys. I have quite a bit on my Audible account. I did cancel because I built up too much. I'm like, I'm not keeping up, even though I read 51, listened to 51 books last year. I still have, despite that, I still have a lot on my Audible TBR to read. So a lot of these are from there, plus like some other bits and pieces. But since last year was a heavy audiobook year, I did want to include some on this list, because clearly, you know, we want to try and succeed, guys. We want to try and succeed. So the first one is The Restaurant at the End of the World by Douglas Adams. I have read this one now, guys. I have finished it. It's the second in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This one did not hit like the first one. Like the first one, I found super funny. I liked the concept, enjoyed it, the ride, the characters. The second one wasn't quite as funny, and you know, some of the characters were a little bit more annoying. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't hit the mark. I do still want to continue on with the series. I'm saying all of this, but I gave it 3 stars. Like, I did enjoy it, but it just didn't quite hit the mark of the first one. The first one was just like great, fantastic, but I want to continue on with the series. I think when people always pick up the first one and not necessarily the next ones, but I do want to continue on at least to book 3 and see how I get on, and then decide from there. So at least one of my 24 is actually done, guys. One. I feel so proud, guys. I feel so proud of me. Then the next one is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This was popular the other year. I got the audiobook, didn't listen to the audiobook, guys. I need to get to it. It's a romance. And yeah, people seem to really like her writing, and I've not read any of her romance novels, so we're gonna give it a go with this one. And yeah, see, do I gel with the style? Then I have Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Daloma Blackburn. Yes, I think this has got to do with like her family kind of being like, why aren't you married? And that sort of vibe of this one. I picked this up again looking for audiobooks, trying to expand my reading with different types of books, and we're gonna give this one a go. Then I have Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I have seen a little bit of this one around. I picked up the audiobook for that reason, just never got to it, so I really want to, yeah, get on with it. Then I have How Beautiful We Are by Emola Mbue. The author is from Cameroon, so it is going to help with that Read Around the World challenge. I believe this might be literary fiction again, which I don't tend to have on audio, but it's going to be really interesting for me to give this one a go in that aspect, and love the cover. Then I have Ultra Processed People by Chris Van Tulkerman, and this is a non-fiction audiobook. You know, at least had to get a second non-fiction on this list. And yeah, it's about our food and how it's processed and things. I think it's going to be really interesting. It's one that I'm probably going to take a little bit of time with when I do listen to it, not like my usual like let's blast through an audiobook vibe on this one, because it's going to be a lot of like information and it's not an autobiography. So I think it will be, yeah, like I said, interesting. Then I have Still House Lake by Rachel Kane, and this is a thriller. I have not read any of Rachel Kane's books before. I have heard good things. I've heard good things about this one, so I want to read it and see if she is my vibe. Then the very last one I have is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Yes, I am late to the party on this one, but I do want to read it and see what it's like. I know a lot of people like it. I believe, was this being turned into a TV series? I think it might already be a TV series, guys. Not kept up with it, but yes, I want to see what this one is like. People have always, I've seen lots of good things about it, so I want to see if I like it. And that's it. That is my 24 and 24. I can see on my camera it says I'm in 24 minutes of filming. I feel like this video might be a little bit less than that when I start cutting things out, but that was just perfect, guys. What a lovely note. But yes, let me know if you read any of these, if there's any that you think I should like pick up first let me know, or any of them that you think are really gonna be my vibe, let me know. But we are gonna try this year, guys. We're gonna really try and hit that 70%, at least 70% of this list. If I get all those audiobooks done, you know, I'm a good chunk of the way. So yes, just keep thinking about me, guys, on this list. Just, you know, leave a comment every now and again on my video, like, hey, where are you? Have you been picking up those 24 and 24? Just prod me. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit subscribe if you don't want to miss any more content from me, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye! Then I have the memory piece.